Welcome back! First and foremost, May the 4th be with you all. Second, I have been getting a lot of comments recently asking me about what I am doing in this current market. Alex, what are you buying right now? Alex, what are you holding? What are you selling right now? What about the alt arts, Alex? Aren't you going to sell those? I've been seeing a lot of videos from other creators talking about how this is a big old manipulated pump and dump scheme and it's all going to crash like the Japanese market, like drawing parallels to price appreciation because boxes are rising and things are getting to the 2 to 3 year old mark and people are finally realizing there's not as many out there as they thought. Comparing that to an entire bubble that just burst over an entire market the way we saw back in 2020, 2021 in the English market. Which is funny, but what do you expect? A lot of these content creators are just collectors. They have no clue what they're talking about. They don't invest and they don't understand market movements. They don't understand price appreciation. And all they know how to do is when things go up, they say, it's gotta be manipulated. People have gotta be doing this to it. There's no way things just rise in value. It doesn't make sense. And so we're gonna talk about all that today. So first and foremost, what am I selling? Guys, I mean, you can look at my eBay. You can look at my TCG player. They're pretty bare right now. I think I have probably a total of less than 100 listings total because I'm not really selling a lot on this current market. Now, I do have multiple orders at PSA right now. When those orders do get back, there will be a lot of that going up on my eBay store. And it's not because I see the market crashing. It's just because that's what I do as part of my business is I find raw cards that I think can I grade them and then I sell them for a profit. So you will see, a lot more graded cards continue to flow on there. No alt arts. If you're wondering about the alt arts, I haven't been buying as many recently. I've pretty much stopped a lot of the buying unless I'm getting them at 85-80% of market, but I'm not selling them either. So it's kind of in this weird limbo, right? I'm not really buying, but I'm also not selling. I don't think we've hit the tops. I don't think we've seen the tops on these cards. I think they're going to continue to run for a bit. And then, yes, everything has ebbs and flows. We will see a downturn where more supply hits the market and people finally hit price points where they don't want to pay anymore. There will be a downturn, but I've talked about it a million times, all right? Let's say the Moonbryon used to sell for 500 raw and it runs up to, 1,300, 1,500 raw, right? By the time it hits the top, and then it falls back down to 1,000 or 1,100, right? That's still a win, right? You're always going to have ups and downs, but anyone telling you these are going to crash and hit their old lows or go lower, they're out of their freaking minds. Guys, think about it this way. All these boxes are becoming more expensive, all right? As they become more and more expensive, $300, $400, $500, $600 over time, a lot less of them are going to get open. People are going to move on to the Scarlet and Violet sets, and then it'll be like a big thing to open a Sword and Shield box, the same way it is for Sun and Moon, XY, and so on these days. You don't see a lot of those boxes open, do you? When you do, it's kind of like an event, right? And that's how it's going to be for Sword and Shield. The only difference is Sword and Shield boxes, these are like 1 in 500 to 800 packs, these alt arts, meaning you are going to see so few of these after, I would say, another 1, 2, 3 years. You will see so few of these actually come on the market after that point. Meaning, pretty much everything that's on the market in the next 1, 2, 3 years, that's going to be close to it. That's it. I mean, I know there's 10, 15, 20,000 of them out there, but when you look at the millions of people who want the most popular and rarest cards in the most popular era of all of Pokemon, it doesn't seem like that many. So of course there's going to be ups and downs, but if you look back, go look back at Sun and Moon and XY, look at some of the top hits, not all of them, but some of them. Go look at the Phantom Forces Full Art Gengar. Go look at the Shining Legends, Shining Legends Mewtwo GX, right? The Mewtwo. Go look at some of those cards. See how they've been performing. They've had ups, they've had downs. A lot of them are at their all-time highs still, even after the ups and downs. And so I'm not saying every alt art or every card is going to do that, but I'm willing to bet a lot of these top hits of these eras, like the old Moon Kitties, like the Garatinas, like the Gengars, I think they're going to perform pretty well over time, contrary to what a lot of people think. So yes, I am continuing to hold all of them. I have a lot of doubles, right? I mean, I've been making a play, making an investment in them. So there will come a time where I do start selling off the doubles. I do plan to keep one of each copy though. And I'll let you guys know. I'll be completely transparent. When that time comes, I will let you know. Now is not the time though, in my opinion. Next up, booster boxes. So I'm pretty much done with the Sword and Shield era, other than Silver Tempest. I may continue to pick up Silver Tempest, although I did pick up a Silver Tempest or a lot of it. I even made that collection buyout video where I bought out multiple cases a little while ago. So I have a good amount of Silver Tempest. Maybe I pick some more up once it reaches like 180 and it's still on Pokemon Center and it's almost like free money at that point. So maybe I'll move into more Silver Tempest. And then I did just buy some more Battle Styles. If you guys don't know Hills Wholesale Gaming, it may still be up. I'm not sure, but they had them for like $99 a box. So I did pick up some more Battle Styles because I think it will rise to a certain point. I mean, I could see Battle Styles rising to the mid to high hundreds this year, and I'm happy with that kind of game. And so still picking up a couple of Sword and Shield boxes, not selling any other ones. Again, not selling. So I'm not buying at these prices, but I'm also not selling any Sword and Shield boxes. Charizard UPCs are rising. You guys know I have a position in those. Not selling Charizard UPCs. It's almost like a mutual fund of Pokemon. It's got all kind of different packs from all the Sword and Shield era. It's got very sought after promos. I think that continues to rise in the days to come too. Days, weeks, months to come. So I'm holding on to all of those. I am starting to buy a lot more Scarlet and Violet. So anytime I can find any kind of bundle deals or there's any kind of, cases getting blown out, I am still picking up Scarlet Violet cases. I like to be in the 80s on those. The reason is, even if reprints come, a lot of the times maybe they're smaller reprints. A lot of the times they don't actually drop down to their old lows because it draws the masses in at that point. The masses say, okay, the reprint's here. We're done. They're not going to reprint it again. All the supplies in the market. Now's my time to move in. I've timed the market. And so that's why you usually see like a lot of a slingshot pattern right back up after a reprint comes, because people finally kind of hear that bell like ding, 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 it's time to buy. And so I'm not worried about all these boxes like reaching the 80s again after reprints in the future. And so I'm okay moving in the 80s. Even the low 90s is okay to me. Like, maybe they end up dropping and I'm even again after a while, but I'm not super worried about that. So still picking up Scarlet and Violet cases. As far as cards, I do like to grade a lot of the cards myself that I do hold on to as sort of like shorter to medium term plays. The only long terms I make, guys, is sealed product. That's the only long term plays I make. But I am picking up some Scarlet Violet cards, so I'm trying to grade as many as I can, trying to find them at local shows or card shops. Because it's so hard to buy on eBay and TCG Player. Even with eBay with pictures, it's really hard to tell the print lines and any imperfections on these Scarlet Violet cards. And so I'm not buying as many, but you still can. I'm not saying you can't do it. It's just I'm not wanting to play that game of buying all kinds of singles. 99% of them are gradable, so I got to flip those back on the market. I just don't want to take the time to do all that. So I am buying 10s, a lot of the SIRs and the illustration rares that I can find like under $50 in a 10. So if I can find these cards at auction, 30s, 40s, I'm buying them. Just because even though I don't see them being anywhere near as popular as the alt arts, because the hit rates aren't as hard, they're not as popular Pokemon, things like that, I think $30 to $40 of a PSA 10 for a card that may come in one every box or one every 2 or 3 boxes that we see in Temporal Forces, I think that's too low. And I think Scarlet Violet Air is getting too much hate right now, and I think it will come around. And so I think we could see a lot of these $30, $40 PSA 10s eventually be 80, 120, maybe even the mid or high hundreds, maybe hit $200 one day. And not like the far out future. I mean, like in the next 1, 2, 3 years type thing. And I'm okay with that, right? So those are things I want to be in. And also, I feel like the risk is so low. Getting top hits and sets in the 30s and 40s, like you think how much lower can they go? Like what's the worst that happens? And that's kind of my mindset there on those cards. And obviously, any of the ones I graded myself, like I used to have the Groudon up here, the Groudon from Paradox Rift. It's like I graded it myself. I bought it raw. The 10 is so exponential over the 9 or the raw, so it's like I have so much margin built in that I think could drop in half and I'm still up on it. So those things I feel very comfortable keeping, just because they're hard to grade, they're sought after Pokemon, and my cost basis is so low. So that's kind of what I'm buying and holding. And like I said, selling, I'm selling very little right now. I'm just selling what I plan to sell. So I do have some Yu-Gi-Oh! 25th Anniversary Legendary collections up on my eBay store. The reason for that is I literally bought those to sell. Eli had some great deals on his distribution program that I got in on, and there was margin to be made. So I bought cases and I'm selling them by the box, and they're selling slowly, but there's margin there, and I bought extra to make some margin off it and then reduce my cost basis on the cases of those that I'm holding. Speaking of Yu-Gi-Oh, still holding all the 25th anniversary sets, still holding all my Legend of Blue Eyes boxes, still holding, cases of Legendary Collection boxes, because that's the only way to get those Dark Crisis packs, and I do like that factor of them, as well as the promos and things like that. So, yeah, guys, I mean, that pretty much gives you a synopsis of my feelings, where I'm at, what I'm doing. That way, you can either make fun of me in the end, or you can say, oh, damn, Alex got lucky again. He got lucky again, right? So, I mean, that's kind of where I'm at, guys. I'm still buying sealed, right? Some Sword and Shield, definitely Scarlet and Violet. Still making plays on singles. If I can get alt arts from the 80-85% of the current market, I'm still picking them up because I think they're going higher. I'm still holding. I'm picking up Scarlet Violet era stuff, and I'm holding those. And as far as selling, it's just the regular selling stuff, guys. I mean, any and every card that I can find raw that I think I can make a margin on, I'll buy it, I'll grade it, I'll flip it, and I'll use those profits to put it into things I want to hold longer. And yeah, it's kind of the same old same. Look, I analyze this market every single day, just like a lot of you. I don't see any danger here. I know a lot of people are very scared, but what you have to understand is these sets are becoming 2, 3, 4 years old, right? This is the normal swing of things. If you go look at what happened when Sun and Moon became 2, 3, 4 years old, right? People will say, well, Alex, that was the pandemic. And then you say, okay, well, look at some Sword and Shield sets. That wasn't the pandemic. No, it wasn't. Nope. So in 2019, before any of this craziness happened, Flashfire boxes were already $350. I know because I bought one. And so if Flashfire had risen to $350 all the way by then, before any of the craziness happened, what was causing those moves, right? If Roaring Skies ran up to $300 a box, but then it got reprinted into the ground and dropped down in the 70s, how did it get to 300? Was that manipulation back then when there was no Pokemon investing channels and none of this going on YouTube? Guys, price appreciation on sealed product is a normal thing. I would not expect any of these boxes to have major downturns ever again. Ever again. Unless the whole hobby started to implode and no one wanted to collect cards anymore. As long as things stay relatively the same way, I do not expect any of these sets to sell for much less in the future. Go look at Sun and Moon. Go look at XY. We've seen very little downturns on sealed product. Again, the alt arts, yes, there will be downs. I would caution anyone maybe buying in right now at current prices as an investment. However, if you're a collector, there are chances on some of these they may not be lower in the future. What I mean by that is there's chances this Moonbryon runs to $2,000 and then drops back down, takes like a 30% drop and drops to $1,400. Well, if it does that, you could find it cheaper right now in the current market. Or let's say Gengar runs all the way up to 1,000 and then it takes a 30% drop to 700. Well, if you can buy it for under 700 right now, maybe it was a good collection piece. And so those are the things you need to think about is yes, there will be downturns, but from where? We don't know where the top is. And when you're looking at charts of downtrends, people will start cherry picking charts of things like the tag teams, and they'll say, look, it fell from here to here. It's like, okay, well, where are we at on the upturn then? Are we like halfway up? Are we 3/4 the way up? Are we only 1/4 the way up? Where are we at on that uptick? Because we don't know. And anyone telling you they know or we're at the top, so this is going to crash, they're crazy. They're lying to you. Also, when you look at a lot of those older charts, look how long it took for the things to start crashing, right? They started giving back little by little, 5, 6, 8% every month for like months. It didn't go like up and down. That's not how it worked, right? And so try not to let people draw these crazy parallels from the Japanese market to the English market. The Japanese market is going through what Vintage did back in 2020, 2021. That's a good parallel. Talking about sets going out of stock, out of print, and the boxes and the cards in those actually rising because people are realizing, oh wait, we're not going to see many more of these. The prices are going to continue to get more. I need to get mine in my collection before it's too late because I've been pushing it off. That's a completely different thing. So, I don't know. Hope this video helped. As always, we'll see how things play out. I'm either going to get proved very lucky again or a complete imbecile and idiot, and we can talk about that when the time comes. Again, happy May the 4th, Star Wars Day. Hope everyone enjoys it with your friends and families. And I'll be back here in a new one soon. I'm out.